What it do? What it do? It's your man Picky Gamer here, back again with another video. This one is for my favorite. This is my top 5 list best video games of the last gen. The last gen being PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So with that being said, let's get right into the list. Number 5, we have Uncharted Lost Legacy. Now I know this is one that a lot of people slept on or probably disregarded because for numerous of reasons. They didn't want to play as a female-led character. They didn't really care about the character or Nadine Ross, the character Chloe, or Nadine Ross in general. But I thought this was a nice twist to the same old Uncharted that we've been getting over the years. Now, Uncharted is one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. And not to say that this is going to be my favorite Uncharted game, but as of last gen, I would have to say this one was a pretty decent play. Decent is under. I'm not even giving it love. I loved playing the game for sure. Really loved playing the game. Really enjoyed the story aspect of it. It was great once again just to see the other side, because you see Nadine and you know of Chloe. Again, you know them from their character, as I guess somewhat side characters in a way. So to see them at the front and center in this one was pretty cool. So this is why this is number 5 on my list. We'll get into the 4th game, Mortal Kombat 11. Now, a lot of people have this, or probably have this high on their list, and I understand it. This is a great fighting game. It is the best fighting video game of the last generation. So I'm not surprised that it's winning awards for that accolade and everything. This is a great game. I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the gameplay especially. But the reason why it's number 4, it's still on one of the best games I've played. Don't get me wrong. But the reason why it's number 4 is because I just got bored of the game. And I'm a story mode type of individual, for those who, don't know. I traditionally like playing story games and things, and the campaign modes and all this other stuff basically. And I think to have fun with this game after you've beaten the stories, the main story, and if you bought the expansion, you're gonna have to play online. And if you play online, and you either have fun taking pride in beating up on strangers or losing to strangers or playing with friends. And this is a game that I've done both with. I've played strangers, I've played with friends. I'm willing to play with any of y'all watching right now. Just add me and let me know what's what, or send me a message. But, for me personally, my fun factor for this game ended when I beat the game, I would have to say when my friends stopped playing this game and they went on to play other games and stuff. So yeah, keep in mind, if you're a story mode person like me, you are going to enjoy the story, you're going to enjoy the gameplay, you're going to enjoy everything about this game. But if you're someone that traditionally just likes playing video games for the story, and you like the online aspect but only with friends, then make sure that you have a friend group, or at least a friend who is willing to play this game with you, to keep you motivated and to keep you having fun in playing this game. Because like I said, for me, it stopped being fun as soon as they stopped playing. As soon as I stopped playing the stories, but then as soon as they stopped playing. But we do get on from time to time. Number 3, Mafia 3. That was not intentional. The 3-3, that was not intentional. This just happens to be my 3rd favorite game of the last gen. For the longest though, this was number 1. Before number 1 was number 1, and before number 2 was number 2, obviously. You'll get into that. But for the longest, this was number one. I think this game is severely slept on. Granted, yes, the bugs is crazy and all that stuff, but there's a game right now called Cyberpunk, which is it's getting smashed for its real for the bugs and everything, but people still find joy within it. And I say that if you could play a game like Cyberpunk, Days Gone, or any other game that is really buggy and still find joy in it, you could have easily done the same with this game. And I think there's a lot of racial reasons as to why that this game was not big up by the gaming community as much as the other Mafia games, or as much as I just feel in general as it should be, especially with the Mafia remakes that are out right now. I think it's the first Mafia game, and that game seems to be really buggy as well. Hangar 13, I don't know what's up with y'all, but y'all got to get the bugs together. Now, that's no excuse. That's not me saying that this game is perfect at all. I will say the story is the best quality and the best thing about this game. Gameplay is pretty decent. It is not the best, but you know, story wise, like I said, the story is what made me love this game even more, you know, honestly. So it's one of those things where you could probably look at it and say, well, this should have been a movie rather than a video game. And if anybody were to have that critique, you get no problems from me, because I would agree with you there. But I'm glad it's a video game. It's one of the best video games I've played within the last generation. So there you go, Mafia 3. Check it out if you haven't. This is another game that I feel as though has been severely slept on, but not for the same reasons for Mafia 3. I think this game has been really slept on because, well, this is Detroit Becomes Human, by the way. This is the number 2 game, as you can see Connor just put up. But, you know, I really love this game. Now, granted, I think the reasons why it's been slept on is because I don't want to say there's not much gameplay within this game, but it's not your average video game. So it's one of those interactive games where, yeah, you see the controls, you look down with the directional pad or the touch pad. You respond to people via the options that they give you by pressing either the X, the square, the triangle, and all that stuff. And yes, this is a PlayStation exclusive, so you can't find this on Xbox. This and the Uncharted Lost Legacy are PlayStation exclusive. So keep in mind, if you're on Xbox, you might have to get into PlayStation if you want to play these games, or play them on PC, because I'm pretty sure both of them are on PC. But yeah, you know, the mechanics of this game could have been, to me, it was more advanced for me. I won't even say it could have been better. I had to get used to the mechanics and how it was. Now, granted, that does not mean that there aren't things about this game that I personally don't think needs improvement. But overall, I really enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed the story. Gameplay is, again, it's not much, but this is a game to where I feel as though was more focused on you creating the story and you making the decisions, kind of like how Life is Strange is and all these other games. And I really love games like that type of games. Those types of games are actually my favorite types of video games. You know, as you've seen, I just picked an option to choose. It's stuff like that you're going to be dealt with when you play this game. So keep that in mind. You know, a lot of the action scenes, there are action scenes in this game, and I know there's people who are gonna want to partake in that, or at least control the character, whoever's in those scenes. But you know, hopefully there is a sequel. Hopefully for the sequel, they make it more controllable. There are some scenes where you can, but for the most part, you cannot. So Detroit Becomes Human, the number 2 game on this list. And the number 1 game on this list, Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe some of y'all guessed it, maybe not, but man, this game is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. And I don't just mean on the last generation, I mean in totality, one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. And I'm not just talking about aesthetically beautiful, I'm talking about story-wise, I'm talking about just gameplay could do some work, but the gameplay was not bad. I found me a setting to where it gelled it gelled all right for me, like I'm used to it, you know. And you keep that in mind, you know, that maybe the base gameplay is not, you're not probably gonna like it. Again, you're gonna have to tinker with the settings, not too many settings, but more so with targeting and aiming and things of that nature. But aside from all of that, again, this game not only looks beautiful but tells a beautiful story. It's also another one to where it has those decision making aspects to it that I absolutely love in video games, and it makes you feel as though that like it's hard not to follow along with characters, especially the protagonist Arthur Morgan. But it's also hard, even if you are someone who is new to the Red Dead series like me, because this is actually my first Red Dead that I played. I didn't play the first one. You know, I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with the story and all that stuff. I've seen the walkthroughs and everything. But you know, playing this did not make me want to go back and play Red Dead Redemption 1. All it did was make me appreciate this game, or just the Red Dead series in general, even more. You know, so if you're someone like me and you didn't play the first one, you're still going to get connected to all the characters that were in Red Dead Redemption 1 and the characters who are specifically only in Red Dead Redemption 2. The story is the prequel to 1, so if you're expecting if you're a little bit confused on if you watch gameplay from 1 and you're following along with the story with 2, again, the scenes, the scenarios and everything that take place in this game happened before the events that take place in 1. So keep that in mind if you are once again a story mode person and you like to connect the dots. But again, man, this is what else can I say about this game that hasn't already been said before? This game is just great. If you are a campaign lover, once again, story mode person, you need to play this game for sure, because you know, gameplay, again, you could tinker with the settings and make it to your liking, and then you'll enjoy playing the game. But this is a story that you absolutely need to play, trust me. So that's my list right here, and that's all 5 games. This is my top 5, once again, top 5 favorite games of the last gen PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Until we meet again, pip pip hooray. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and until next time, you hear from me when you hear from me. Oh yeah, y'all have a wonderful new year, because this is going to be put out on New Year's Eve. So y'all have a wonderful new year. Happy gaming.